श्रुतिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहीसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संभारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ, बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय श्री कृष्ण। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। I bow down to the lotus feet of Param Pujya Swamiji Shri Govindev Giriji Maharaj. A warm welcome to all the sadhaks attending this program and listening through YouTube. Today, our senior trainer Shri Vikas Vaidya will be presenting the session. He is a scholar in the field of spirituality, presents the last part of the first chapter of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā, which is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Mukam karoti vachalam pankum langhayate girim yat kripadamaham vande paramanandamadhavam. Remember with the devotion, the divine grace of who can make the dumb speak and the lame cross high mountains, Lord Shri Hari. Prayer is an integral part of our culture. It is an expression of devotion before any activity. Today we have with us Punita Sharmaji from Delhi for the Arambha Prarthana. She holds the degree in MA and B.Ed. She has interest in teaching. Now she is a housewife. She associates with Geeta Parivar since November 2021 and offers seva as technical assistant. I welcome Punita ji to recite the Arambha Prarthana. Punita ji, please.
दीदी आप म्यूट हो।
प्लीज अनम्यूट। हाँ अनम्यूट कीजिए।
प्लीज अनम्यूट।
दीदी आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी।
आवाज नहीं आ रही है दीदी आपकी।
जी अभी शायद आई।
नो वॉइस। हाँ अभी आवाज नहीं आ रही है दीदी। नो वॉइस।
कोई बात नहीं। भैया आप ले लीजिए एक बार प्रेयर।
आरंभ प्रार्थना।
भैया आप ले लीजिए एक बार प्रेयर।
ओके। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. And in our culture, an auspicious function commences with the lighting of lamp. Now it is the time for Deepa Prajwal. We have with us Asha Reddy from Ahmedabad, who is a housewife who has interest in Adhyatmik Pragati. She has a PG in economics. She associates the Geeta Parivar from 2021. And she is a core trainer for L2. So far, she has completed 3 batches. She offers seva as examiner also for the Jinyasu and Padak sections. Devi, over to you for Deepa Prajwal.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you very much for the Bhaktimay session of the Deepa Prajalan. And now we move on to the most anticipated part of the session. That is our senior trainer, Shri Vikas Vaidya ji will be presenting today's session. And he is a mechanical engineer. Basically, he is a mechanical engineer. His qualifications are BE and PGD BM. He has traveled the world and was an NRI for 12 years. He owns an IT company based in Pune. He knows Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. He recites 18 adhyayas of Geeta every day. He is a trainer of all levels of Geeta Parivar from L1 to L4. And he is a trainer selector and a trainer's trainer for Geeta Parivar. He is involved in teaching Vishnu Sahasranama as a member of the Pune Geeta Parivar. And he has given the Geeta contest exam at the Sringeri Peeth. He has received the first prize from Param Puji Jagadguru Shankaracharya Swamiji. He also guides the Geeta Vratis to prepare for the Sringeri Peeth for that Geeta contest exam. I welcome Vikas ji to start this session. Over to you, Vikas ji. And if any questions are there, we will ask after this session. And please hand raise only after this session. Then he will be available for clearing the doubts, if any.
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय
समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी, बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहीसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरु देवकी नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूरति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। We are discussing Adhyay first. Today we will conclude that Adhyay. Before that, let us start with the Prarthana. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to all. So last time we had covered up to slok number 36. 36 slok was निहत्यधार्तराष्ट्रान्नः का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः. So what pleasure we are going to derive, Krishna, by killing sons of Dhritarashtra? They are terrorists, atatayin. They are aggressors. But even then, by killing them, we will only incur sin because they are our relatives. To kill family is a big sin. So even if they are aggressors, we should not kill them. Okay, having said that, now Arjuna goes further. Having pointed out the evil consequences of the war, now Arjuna now dwells upon the sheer impropriety of the war, waging the war. Slok number 37. Tasman naraha vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhava. Tasman. Tasmat means therefore. That's why. No, never. Arha is proper. Vayam. Vayam is pronoun in Sanskrit. That means we. Hantum. Hantum is to kill. Dhartarashtran, sons of Dhritarashtra. Swabandhavan, our relatives, our friends. Swajan, our family members. Katham, how. Hatva, by killing. Sukhina, happy. Syama will become. And Madhava is calling for Lord Krishna. So Arjuna says, therefore, Tasmat, Lord Krishna, therefore, it is not proper for us to kill sons of Dhritarashtra. Tasman naraha vayam hantun dhartarashtran. And our friends and relatives, Swabandhavan. Not proper to kill sons of Dhritarashtra and our own friends and relatives. What and how we can derive happiness if we kill our own people? Swajanam hikatam hatva sukhina syama madhava. What kind of pleasure we are going to derive? What kind of happiness? Sukhina. So tasman nahra vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan. The arguments against the slaughter of our kith and kin, so far given by Arjuna. Arjuna says they are enough to convince us that it is improper to indulge in this kind of destructive activity like war against our own family, against our own relatives. How can we, who are regarded as virtuous persons, Pandavas are regarded as virtuous persons, how can we perform such a heinous act? Tasman narha vayam hantun dhartarashtran svabandhavan. Then further, Swajanam gatam hatva sukhina syama madhava. Madhava, that means the husband of Ma Lakshmi. Ma is Lakshmi. And Dhava, Pati of Lakshmi is Madhava. So that name, Madhava of Lord Krishna. Madhava, this mere thought that we are killing our own people has made us so much uncomfortable, the cause of the big pain in us. Mere thought of it, that we are going to kill our own friends and relatives, this thought itself has made us so much disturbed. If this really happens, what will happen? If we really kill them, what kind of pain we are going to suffer? What kind of happiness we are going to get if we slaughter our own people? So the delusion which is born out of sense of mine deprives Arjuna the sense of his duty, because he thinks these are my people, mine. And as a member of warrior class, he should not have done that. But where there is delusion, there is no common sense. When the person gets confused, his common sense stops working. When the discretion is suppressed by delusion, the sense of duty, it definitely gets blurred. He doesn't understand what he's doing and why he's doing that. Everything gets blurred. Slok 38 now. See, the question arises why Duryodhana does not think this on the same lines like Arjuna was thinking. Arjuna was thinking that we are killing our own people, but Duryodhana doesn't think like that. He is also going to kill his own people. They are also his kith and kin only. So why not like this? So Arjuna imagines this and he explains this, why they are not thinking and why I am thinking, why we should think. So he says, Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho pahata chetasaha kulakshay krutan dosham mitradrohe cha patakam. Yadyapyete, yadi and api, these two words come together, and ete means they. Yadi, api and ete becomes yadyapyete. Yadi means same in Hindi. If api is even, ete means they means Kauravas. Na pashyanti, they don't see. Because lobho pahata chetasaha, lobho, greed, pahata, overpowered by, stolen by, chetasaha, hearts. Kulakshay, by killing the family. Krutam is done. Dosham is dosh, sins, plot. Mitra drohe, by irritating, fighting against our friends, that is mitra droha. Patakam, sinful act. So Arjuna says further that even if their hearts are overpowered, are taken away by the greed, lobho pahata chetasaha. Their hearts have been stolen, have been taken away, have been overpowered by the greed. And that's why they say nothing wrong in killing their family members. Yadyapyete na pashyanti. Because lobho pahata chetasaha kulakshay krutan dosham mitra drohe cha patakam. Their hearts have been stolen, have been overpowered by the greed in their mind. That's why they don't see anything wrong in killing the family, in killing their own friends. What kind of great sin is involved in that they don't see. Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho pahata chetasaha kulakshay krutan dosham mitra drohe cha patakam. We'll take the next look also together. Kadhanadneyam papa dasman nivartitum kulakshay krutan dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Katham means why. No, should not. Neyanam, to be known. Asmabhi means by us. Papat, from the sins. Nivartitum, to get rid of, to retire. Nivartitum. Kulakshay krutam, by destroying the kula, the dynasty, the family. Dosham is the crime, dosha. Prapashyadhi, those who understand this, those who understand, who see this well. Prapashyadhi, that we have seen. Now Janardana is the calling for Arjuna, Lord Krishna. So after having said that Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho bhavata chetasaha kulakshay krutam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam, Arjuna says further, Kathanadneyam asmabhih papa dasman nivartitum kulakshay krutam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Lord Janardana, we ourselves who very well understand the sinful acts involved in destruction of our own dynasty, they don't understand because their hearts are stolen, overpowered by greed. But we are good people, no. We understand. We are virtuous. We understand this is the sin involved in killing our own family, in killing our own friends. So that's why we should not think of getting rid of this. Should we not think of getting rid of this sinful act? Why should not get rid of this sinful act when we understand? Kulakshay krutam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. Prapashyadbhir. We understand well. They don't understand. But we understand. We are virtuous people. We understand what kind of great sins are involved in killing our own people. So why we should not withdraw from this? Papa dasman nivartatam. Why should not we withdraw from this kind of thing? wherein we are killing our own people. Yadhyapetena pashanti lobho bhavate jesa kulakshaya kritam dosha mitra drohe cha patakam. Greed consists in desiring to have more and more of wealth, more and more of property, more and more of praise, respect, rank, everything. That is the greed. It is because of greed that Duryodhana lost his common sense, his discretionary power, his discretionary strength. And so they do not think about the disastrous consequences of waging the war. And the scenes, the papa that will accrue from it. This extraordinary greed had deprived them of their sense of discretion. And little do they realize that the kingdom for which they are doing such a big sinful act, committing such a big sin of destroying their kith and kin, is not going to stay long with them. It's going to go one day. It's not going to stay with them permanently. And always we should remember that the pleasure of possession is soon followed by the pleasure of, pain of deprivation. We get deprived of what we have possessed. So that pain is unbearable. The pleasure of possession is great, but the pain of deprivation is something which cannot be explained. So this outweighs that pleasure of possession. With the minds deluded by the greed for kingdom, they do not perceive the deadly scene which will arise by destroying their own families. See, a battle causes loss of time, loss of energy, loss of life, loss of property, everything. And people are assailed by worries and hardships. When there is a quarrel between two friends, they turn into enemies. The quarrel turns them into enemies. Two good friends also become enemies. This was the case with Drupada and Dronacharya also. They were friends, but some incident occurred and they became enemies. So now they are standing against each other to kill each other. Friends can turn into enemies. They do not perceive the evil of destruction of the race and the scene that will accrue from the enmity towards these friends. Once upon a time they were friends, but now okay, they are enemies. But there are a lot of people who are still friends. Katannad niyamasmabhi papa dasma nivartatum. See, though Duryodhana do not perceive any guilt in extermination, in killing of their family, and the scene accruing from the enmity towards friends. Yet, we should resist. We should resist that kind of action from our side. We should withdraw from such scene. Because we know it very well that the destruction of family is an evil and enmity towards friends is a big sin. If those friends cause us some pain, it will not be harmful for us. They may cause us pain. It will not be harmful for us because the pain will destroy our sins and purify us. We'll repay whatever wrong things we might have done previously, earlier. So we'll get cleansed if they give us the pain. But if we have the feeling of malice and enmity towards our friends, then those feelings, that malice will going to stick with us for a whole time, for all the time to come. And that will instigate us to commit sins and lead us to degradation. Therefore, we certainly should not take this action of committing that sin of fighting war against our friends and kith and kin. Now here Arjuna is talking about the greed of Duryodhana and Kauravas. But he is not thinking about his own fault. What is his fault? Infatuation and delusion. Getting attached, infatuation. And delusion, the confusion of mind. So he cannot understand his duty because he is affected by infatuation and by delusion. It is a rule. It is a rule that a man cannot perceive his shortcomings, his failings, as long as he perceives defects in others. If you start looking defects in others, then you overlook the defects in yourself. You try to concentrate only on his defects. This is what exactly was happening with Arjuna. He was trying to find faults in Duryodhana and Kauravas, forgetting about the faults which he himself possessed. He feels rather proud of his superiority that he has no defect. While the defect is that everyone generally possesses one or other defect. All of us, we have defects. But being proud that I don't have defect, it's a defect itself. Being proud that I have no defect is a defect itself. So Arjuna cannot pursue his own infatuation and delusion, his own defects, because he is finding fault with Duryodhana. And he thinks he is clean, he is right. Duryodhana is wrong. He is forgetting that he also possesses some kind of defects in him. Okay, Shlok 40 now. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna madharmo vibhavatyuta. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna adharmo vibhavatyuta. With the destruction, Kulakshay, the destruction of Kula, the dynasty, family. Pranashyanti, to get eliminated, finished, vanquished. Kuladharma, the family traditions, the family rituals. Sanatana, which are coming since eternal, since age old. Dharme, of the religion. Nashte, get destroyed. Kulam, Kulam is Kul, dynasty, family. Kristam, total, complete. Adharma, Adharma is irreligion. Actions which are against the religious teachings and principles is adharma. So this shloka says, Kulakshaya pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishna badharmo vibhavatyuta. A danger sign Arjuna is raising now, saying that with the destruction of dynasty, the age-old and eternal family rituals and family traditions will get vanquished, will get finished. And thus the remaining members of family become involved in the acts which are against the religious teachings and principles. They will start following adharma. They will become adharmi. So this is another danger Arjuna is projecting as a result of war. So in these 2-3 shlokas, Arjuna is saying that although these men, their hearts are clouded by greed, they see no sin in killing their family and inflicting cruelty on their own friends. Why should we, who can see the evil in this action, not refrain from this sin, Krishna? With the destruction of family, the spiritual family traditions perish forever. And then the unrighteousness dominates the entire society. Those who are filled with greed, such people end up destroying the entire clan, entire dynasty. They do not heed good advice given to them by their good friends. They ignore the advice given to them. In fact, anyone who opposes their action, he becomes their enemy. They think that why he is opposing my action? Now he is my enemy. He opposed my action, so he is my enemy. They regard him as an enemy. A lot of people who had tried to instill sense in Duryodhana also tried to reason out with him, including Bhishmacharya, Vidur, King Draupad, and then Lord Krishna himself. But Duryodhana did not heed their advice. Moreover, even Dhritarashtra would not understand, as he was so entrenched to his attachment to Duryodhana that he said, whatever Duryodhana does is right. I am not against Duryodhana. Whatever he does is always right. Duryodhana was very dear to Dhritarashtra, and his son's wishes were paramount to Dhritarashtra. So Duryodhana's wishes were of paramount importance to Dhritarashtra. He said that his son did not agree with the advice and reasoning offered by everyone. He was capable of preventing the imminent war. So Dhritarashtra also did not try anything to prevent the war. Now Arjuna says that Janardana, is there a greater sin than greed that has overtaken these men, Kauravas? Their hearts are so full of greed that they see nothing wrong in killing their family and friends. If our entire clan gets destroyed, then that will become an unrighteous act. And with the destruction of dynasty, the long-running family traditions will be aborted. Who will perform? Everybody gets wiped out. Who will perform family traditions? Now here Arjuna is bringing in the context of social traditions and customs, which were prevalent that time also. And he says that every family, every clan follows a traditional path of righteousness, a set of ethical precepts, so as to say. So the entire clan gets wiped out, who will then continue with these moral precepts which are prescribed by their ancestors. and that were handed down to them from generation to generation. And these precepts are not new, they are ancient and are being followed in families for centuries, and they will get aborted. Who will bear the responsibility for this kind of sin? Arjuna is arguing that if the ethical precepts handed over by generation together they get destroyed, then that will pave the way for the destruction of religion and righteousness in total. There will be total adharma. Dharma will get destroyed. See, basic ethical tenets or precepts from the they form the foundation of our lives. And children learn this from their parents. Like we teach our children to respect the elders, cordially greet the guests when they visit your house with warmth, feed the birds and animals, give bhiksha or that alms to the needy sannyasi who comes to your place. These are the fundamental tenets that parents impart to their children. Offering the first roti to the cow or serving the elders, being humble to elders, waking up early in the morning, do some meditation, some yoga. These are things which we teach to our children. For there are some parents who do not get up early themselves. They get up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. But okay, this is about the parents who are following normal Hindu traditions of getting early and following some rituals of doing meditation, yoga. Now, if you have been following this fundamental ethical practice, then this itself will form the foundation of your spiritual practice. Because this will create a good atmosphere within your family if you follow all the traditions which you have learned from your earlier generation. But on the contrary, those homes which are dominated by lethargy, those homes which are controlled, which are dominated by lethargy and inertia, will they learn Geeta? Will they learn Vedanta? Will they recite Vishnu Sahasranam? No. Such homes abound only in the pursuit of material pleasures and wealth. Make more money is the motto. It does not matter how you make it. Big borrow still, whatever. Big borrow still, whatever you do. So whether you earn it fraudulently or by bribery, it does not matter. Money is important. So where the family traditions get destroyed, people start going on the wrong path. Arjuna says that the destruction of customary, traditionally followed ethical precepts, the rituals, family rituals, will in effect destroy the righteousness completely. And the society will then be dominated by sin only. So Arjuna continues talking about the consequence of destruction of dynasty along with its ethical precepts now. And says, Krishna, sin and unrighteousness will become the norm of life. The women from such families will lose their virtuosity. They will lose their virtuosity, and then what will happen is the women from such families will become polluted, and it will lead to unwanted progeny, unwanted children. Now, in those times, Manusmriti was the doctrine for all social and religious behavior as per the law. Manusmriti was the guiding principle for all the people at that time. And according to that Manusmriti text, a woman is perennially dependent on a man for her survival and support. Before marriage, she is dependent on her father or brother. After marriage, her husband becomes her protector and savior. And a widow would be dependent on her son. This school of thought was very prevalent at that time, although it was in the same age that Arjuna's mother Kunti had become an unwed mother of Karna by giving birth to Karna much before her marriage. Furthermore, the Pandavas were known by not their father's name but by their mother's name, Kunti Putra. They were addressed as the sons of Kunti. Now, Arjuna's male ego is still surfacing here, and he says that in the absence of men, the women from their dynasty will lose their virtuosity. He is not worried about men losing their virtuosity. He is worried about female women losing their virtuosity. Another factor that is relevant here is that as far as the children are concerned, it does not matter much if the father becomes wayward, father goes on the wrong path, it does not matter much. For it is the mother who takes care of the children. Even if the father is evil, as indeed we see in many cases, Hiranyaksha was one example, it did not make any difference to the child, as it was the mother who taught him the path of devotion and truth. So mothers are the main force to train their children on the right path. Fathers may be doing busy in their activity or doing some wayward activities also, but mothers are worried about the future of their children more than their father. And there are so many examples in history where the mothers have taken exemplary care of their children who have grown up such virtuous individuals. Many examples in Hindu Adhyatma. So a woman is complete on her own. She does not need anyone to make her complete. She is complete. Salute to all the women. But this male dominance has had such a deep impact of women, her psyche, that even today there are so many women we find who think that they will not be able to survive without a man's support. They are fearful of going anywhere without husband or without father or brother. And here Arjuna is expressing this very sentiment. He says that if women become wayward and depraved, there will be no hope left for the welfare of their children. Adharma bhivat Krishna pradushyanti kula striyaha strishu dushtasu varashneya jayate varna sankaraha. This is what Arjuna is explaining. That Krishna, when the social behavior violates religious principles and such behavior becomes dominant, then the ladies, even from the respectable families, kulastriya, they become polluted. And when the family ladies get polluted, it gives birth to unwanted, undesired, hybrid generation, hybrid children. What is hybrid children? Varna Sankara. There could be Dharma Sankara. People of two different religions getting married and producing children. That is Dharma Sankara. People of two different Varnas getting married and producing children. That is Varna Sankara. People of different castes getting married and producing children. That is Jati Sankara. People who follow different dressing traditions, like we follow saris or Punjabi suit. People in West, they follow mini skirt and midi skirt or some such clothing. So this difference, it creates a Vesh Sankara, Ahar Sankara. Some people are strictly vegetarian. Some people, they enjoy eating non-vegetarian food. When they get married together, it creates a Ahar Sankara. So Sankara means contradicting people coming together and then producing children. So what kind of habits their children will have? That is the question. Okay, we go to Shlok 42 now. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro yeshal luptapindo dakakriyaha. Sankar, that such unwanted hybrid children, narakayaiva, take to the hell. Kulagnanam, for those who are killers of the family. Those who have killed the family, they are called kulagnanam. Kulasya, for the family. Patanti, patanti, falling down. Pitar, pitar, the ancestors, the forefathers. Isham, for them. Lupta, lupta, disappear, stopped. Pinda, pinda, the offering of food to our pitar, which we perform on Shraddha day. Whatever food we offer, that is called pinda. Udak, udak is water. Kriya, the action of performing that Shraddha is that Kriya. So Arjuna says, Sankaro narka yeva kulagnanang kulasya vatanti pitaro yesha lupta pindo daka kriyaha. When the families get wiped out, what will happen? This hybrid generation which will come into existence because of different Varna Sankara, Jati Sankara, all sorts Sankara, what we discussed. So this created Varna Sankara, Jati Sankara of the remaining members of the family, it will cause them going to the hell. This is all Arjuna's logic, not Lord Krishna's logic. Geeta does not believe, does not support this kind of logic. This is Arjuna's frustration was he's talking what he has heard from his forefathers. This is not the teaching of Geeta. He is speaking about his frustrations, that this is what is going to happen. So he says this hybrid generation will cause all of us to go to the hell. The remaining members of the family, they will cause us to go to hell, including those who killed his family, they will also go to the hell. And the ancestors, the forefathers, the purvaj of such characterless families will fall down in their position, because the family rituals of performing their Shraddha, the annual day when they passed away, that annual day we perform the Shraddha of our Pitaras, our ancestors, our forefathers. Nobody will perform that. Nobody will be left. And these hybrid children will know nothing about all these family traditions. So they will stop doing all this. And when it is stopped, these forefathers, these ancestors will fall down from their place. It is said, how much to believe that you decide, that many families who do not follow this Shraddha, the children getting born in that family, in their horoscope, they find a dosha that is called Pitru dosh. And then the Pandit will advise you many things to be carried out to remove that Pitru dosha from the horoscope. Pitru dosha can cause obstacles in the path of the child of whose horoscope it is. Pitru dosh. Pitru dosh comes because they say that we don't follow the rituals of performing Shraddha of our forefathers. That causes the Pitru dosha. Okay. So Arjuna is saying that Varna. Now here he says Sankaro Narakayiva Kulagnama Kulasicha Patanti Pitro Isha Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha. Now Varna refers to the division of Hindu society into 4 castes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. In those times, intercaste marriages were deemed totally inappropriate. That was the time. But now, see, Hindu culture has changed with the time and we have progressed. We are not rigid that we will not change, come what may. With the time, we have also changed our traditions. But that time, everyone took a lot of pride in their own caste. Now, this does not mean that Geeta is encouraging the caste-based discrimination. This creation of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra is not based on the birth. There are 2 shlokas in Bhagavad-Gītā prominently saying that Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. Gunakarma vibhagashaha. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam. In 4th adhyaya, there is a shloka. Paramatma says the Chaturvarna I have created. Fine, I have created. But I have created it based on guna and karma. What are the gunas they possess and what is the karmas they do? If the gunas they possess are of bravery, the person getting birth in a Brahmin family is supposed to Brahminical culture, but he is brave. He wants to go to army. Let him go. He has full freedom to go to army. But the day he joins army, he changes to Kshatriya. Because his karma will be that of Kshatriya now. Killing the people, killing the enemy, which a Brahman is not allowed to do. He is not supposed to kill people. But once your gunas are of Kshatriya, then you are no more a Brahmin. So this Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are based on guna and karma, not based on the family in which you are born. Geeta never says Janma Vibhagayoho. Janma doesn't decide. Guna Karma Vibhagayoho. In 18th Adhyaya, there is another shloka. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudrana Injaparantapa Karmani Pravivaktani Karmani. Karma decides whether you are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Not the birth. Your karma decides. So there are umpteen number of places in Geeta wherein this kind of clarification is there. But people unnecessarily blame Geeta that we have created this kind of division in the society of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is not division in the society. It appears, it is there in every country. Take example of America, for example. There is a military there defending the borders. Yes. So they're all Kshatriya. There is a business community there. Yes. They're all Vaishyas. There is a service community there. Yes. They're all Shudras. And there is a community which gives church services and that Bible services. They're all Brahmins. So this, every country, every society has this division. But Hindus have been unnecessarily blamed that they have created this rift in the society, which is rubbish. Paramatma has said, Bhagavad Gita, Samatma Yoga Uchyate. following the principle of equanimity is professed by Bhagavad Gita in almost every adhyaya. Samata, 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 equanimity, equanimity. Get equipoised to all situations. Behave with everyone, externally also, remaining equipoised. So when Paramatma is advocating equipoised and equanimity, you think he will create a rift in the society by creating Brahmin up and Shudra down? Impossible. Paramatma again and again is saying, it is based on guna karma, not based on janma. So this is a misleading propaganda against Hinduism that Gita has created this kind of rift. Gita has never said that Brahmana is up or Brahmana can never become a Kshatriya. He can become, as I gave an example, a Brahmin person joining an army, he is no more a Brahmin, he is a Kshatriya now. A Shudra, maybe he is born in a Shudra family, that is okay. But if he is doing temple service, he is a Brahmin already. In fact, he is a higher category Brahmin than the normal Brahmin, because he has shifted from Shudra to Brahmin. So his work will decide, his karma will decide, his gunas will decide whether he is a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Gita does no such thing that making a rift in the society. So we need to understand what these categories actually mean. So who is a Brahmin? It is not someone who is born in a Brahmin family. Gita doesn't say that. Anybody born in Brahmin family is a Brahmin. No. Our sages have said that the one who has realized Brahma is a Brahmin. How many of Brahmins, so-called Brahmins of today, have realized Brahma? So are they Brahmin per se? So similarly, the one whose natural inclination is towards the business and who is interested in profit and loss and all these things, he is a Vaishya. Shudra is one whose intellect is diminutive and who is concerned only in the body matters. Similarly, Kshatriya is the one who is very brave, courageous and valiant. So these are the gunas of person, not the family. But many so-called religious people, they say that this is the rift created by Bhagavad Gita, which is rubbish, as I said. They don't understand that the real meaning of these terms, what the real meaning of these terms is. What is Brahmin? What is Kshatriya? What is Vaishya? What is Shudra? And they quote this verse, this shloka from Bhagavad Gita to condone the casteism and justify the prohibition of intercaste marriage. Gita has never said intercaste marriage is to be banned. No. So this is very strange to believe that people blame Gita for this. We cannot understand how people keep condemning this intercaste marriage, despite such in-depth clarification given by our people in our own adhyatma, in our own literature. See, there is some relevance, as for example, if a very intelligent person who is, say, highly educated, maybe he has done MS or MTech or some such thing, he is very intellectually refined person. If such a person marries someone who is not all that wise, maybe a small village girl, then who is happy in just eating and being married, then this couple, can they get along together? What matters most is the compatibility between the two personalities, their likes and dislikes. This is what matters the most for a marriage to be successful. How can the caste be a deciding factor? So when we say Brahmin or Kshatriya or Shudra, what we refer is to the inherent nature of that person. By nature he is Brahmin, by nature he is Kshatriya, by nature he is Vaishya, by nature he is Shudra, what? All those personalities, and not the labels stamped on them by the society. So if a boy and girl are having the same inherent nature, they can very well get married. To whichever caste they may belong. But how many people get married depending upon their physical, mental, intellectual and emotional compatibility? Instead, they go for looks, beauty, they go for property, and they go for wealth. So Arjuna is talking about this caste system that was even more prevalent and dominant in those times than what it is today. He says that with the destruction of the dynasty, the women of the clan will interact with males of other castes, and the resultant mixed breed children will further damage the society. That's Sankara. This Varna Sankara refers to the children born out of wedlock, especially those conceived by women who have had relations with the men from different caste. And this was regarded as a stigma, plight in the society. It is even now, of course. Arjuna is saying that the impending war would lead to utter disgrace and dishonor, because all such stories will be talk of the everyday ladies getting a relationship with different people and producing children. This will become an everyday affair. Thus, he says, this would be inescapable and the consequences of it will be disastrous if we go ahead with the war. Now let us discuss one important aspect. Karna, the son of Kunti. Before Kunti got married, this was pre-marriage son of Kunti. So Karna was born, he was son of Kunti, born out of wedlock. He was raised by a Shudra couple. And neither Arjuna nor any of the Pandavas, including the Dharmaraj Yudhishthira, ever missed an opportunity to sarcastically remind him of his lowly background as a Shudra. Karna is always referred as a Dasiputra, as a Shudra, Sutaputra, Dasiputra, Shud, because he was belonging to, he was taken care of by a Shudra family. So whenever they would get an opportunity, they would taunt Arjuna, Yudhishthira and all Pandavas. Lowly born one, keep quiet, don't talk. This was the treatment meted out to Karna based on his Shudra background. So you are not fit to sit with us, they used to say to Karna. We are Kshatriyas, you are Shudra, don't sit with us. Further, it is said that Karna was handsome, intelligent man with a very attractive personality, and he was as brave as Arjuna. He too had intended to participate in Draupadi's Swayamvara, but when he stood to pick up the bow, Draupadi got scared and she said, stop. You cannot participate in this Swayamvara. You are a Shudra. You can't participate here. So Karna was given repeated insults meted out to him by Pandavas. Arjuna and his brothers never let Karna to forget that he is Shudra. In this context, it is apparent that the attitude of Duryodhana was admirable. We should appreciate Duryodhana in this case. He regarded Karna as a supremely brave warrior and respected him so. Karna's background, his upbringing was inconsequential for him, for Duryodhana. Whether he was taken care of by a Shudra family and all that, he didn't care for that, Duryodhana. See, the reason that we are comparing now Arjuna's and Duryodhana's behavior is simply to point out, not that we would take Duryodhana's or Kaurava's side in Mahabharata. That's not the objective. But the point here is, you will be able to find some faults in Arjuna and some good points in Duryodhana. There are shades of goodness in Duryodhana, as this example shows. Karna, who had been condemned and denounced by everyone, was accepted only by Duryodhana, who befriended him and made him the king of a nearby kingdom. And he had no misgiving in doing so. He didn't treat Karna as a Shudra. He said, you are my friend. So this is also different characters. The shades of characters in Mahabharata are plenty. The more you study, the more you will enjoy it. Every good man has some bad thing. Every bad man has some good things. This is what it shows. Okay, we go to next sloka now. Doshairete kulagnanam varna sankarakarakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kuladharmascha shashvataha. Doshai, such faults. Kulagnanam, the destroyer of the family. Varna sankar, that hybrid unwanted children, what we are discussing. Karakai, which are the cause. Utsadyante, to get devastated, to get finished, terribly damaged. It's utsadyante. Jati dharma, religious and caste principles, jati dharma. Kula dharma, family traditions and family rituals, is kula dharma. Shashvata is eternal, age old. So Arjuna is further telling, doshe rete kulagnana varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmasya shashvataha. By the sinful evil act of those who destroy the family traditions and thus give rise to hybrid unwanted children, all kinds of family traditions and the base principles of caste and religion get totally devastated, get totally destroyed. The trend of Varna Sankar will destroy our dynasty and the communities, and family welfare will be demolished. This is what Arjuna is saying. Next shloka, 44. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushanaya janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati ityanu. Utsanna, the damage, the spoiled, kuladharmanam, family traditions, manushyanam, of such people, Janardana is calling for Lord Krishna, narake, narak is hell, niyatam, always, vasa, vasa is to stay, to reside, bhavati, to become, Anushrama is heard from some elderly people in the family, Anushrama. So Arjuna says, I have heard it from old people in the family, Anushrama. What he has heard? That those whose family traditions are destroyed, they always remain in the hell. So if you have a tradition of performing Navratra, and if you don't do that, then according to Arjuna, that family will stay in hell. Family traditions, family rituals are to be scrupulously followed. These are the teachings from coming to us from generation to generation, and any generation not following that will face the consequences. That is what Arjuna is saying. Utsanna kuladharmana manushanaya janardana narage niyatam vaso bhavatityana shushruvu. So Krishna, it is sensible to become the destroyer of our traditional values. Is it right? The children born out of wedlock will not know anything about our traditional rituals. Then who will perform the rites after death? And who will attain salvation? If the Shraddha is not performed, if the 13-day procedure after the death is not performed, how we can achieve that Param Shanti? Anyone dies, known to us, we say, Paramatma Une Sadgati De, Param Shanti De. So Arjuna's question is, who will give him Param Shanti if his rituals are not followed? Arjuna is bringing in the tradition of following the rites and rituals, that is an integral part of norms followed by traditional families. We follow it. It is indeed interesting to see people who are otherwise staunch followers of Vedanta, but when faced with the death of their family member or family, they get gripped by the fear and ask, what rite should I perform now? First day, what I have to do? Third day, what I have to do? Seventh day, 9th day, 10th day, 13th day, what I have to do? Should I offer that pinda, that means that dove balls to the crow? What should I do? So they go to a Pandit and then they consult him. Now, those of us who have experienced the death of our family members, all of us have definitely, must be aware that until the dead body is cremated and for a certain number of days after the death, so many self-proclaimed caretakers of religion come forward and they offer innumerable advices to us. Do this, don't do that, give up these, all sorts of advices will start pouring into you. And after the body is cremated, they say, don't look back. When the body is cremated, it is given to the ashes. They say, walk straight, don't look back. This is the instructions people give. Because if you look back, the dead person will follow you. This is the thing they tell us. So all those who are saying that I am the soul, not the body, they become identified with the body, and that he follows everything. He considers that fellow who is dead, he will really follow me. There are ladies who, one example, one American lady, she said that my son will not perform my Shraddha. So what should I do? So she got called to India. That okay, you come to India, go to Haridwar. There, the Pandits will perform your Shraddha when you are alive. There is a place in Haridwar where you can perform your own Shraddha, thinking that your children will not perform your Shraddha and you will not get Sadgati because they don't perform your Shraddha. You perform your own Shraddha when you are alive. That will give the peace to your soul when you are dead. That is the belief. Now, how much to believe this? Can this be believed? That you can perform your own Shraddha? There are contradictory opinions on this. Take your own call whether can we perform our own Shraddha. When you have relinquished the identification to your body, given up all attachments, and then in a way you have embraced your death, you have realized that death is the unchangeable nature of body and that it cannot touch the immortal epitome of that bliss that resides within the perishable body, that means your Jivatma. But even the self-proclaimed Vedic people who say we are expert in Vedas, they worry about their death rights. They say that it is what is advocated by our scriptures and we need to follow this. So as I said, it is a call to be taken by everyone. Belief, because we are learning from Geeta that we are nothing but the Jivatma, soul. And the soul is leaving the body and taking another body. So the body is not important at all. Geeta is teaching us. We are telling everyone now after learning Geeta that we are not body. So when the body is lifeless, what is the importance of that body that we follow all such rituals? This is a food for thought, whether we should give so much of importance to the body which is already dead, or we should give importance to that Jivatma who is ready to occupy another body. We don't know which body has occupied. If you know that and you worship that body, one can understand. But you don't know which body has occupied. So you can only pray for that Jivatma. But he is already interested in another body, he has already gone. Arjuna is blinded by the ignorance and he is saying that if no one will perform the after death rites, then how will we get liberation, salvation, moksha? Also the children born subsequently will have no knowledge of these traditions of rituals and rites. Their lives will be hell and we too will be in the hell thereafter. So this is all the consequences. These are all the consequences Arjuna is telling to Lord Krishna that this is the result of war that is going to happen. We go to Slok 45 now. Aho vatamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadraj sukhalobhena hantum svajanam madhyataha. Aho, aho means alas, my God, like that. Very surprising and strange that we have decided to commit such a largely sinful act. Oh, but a mahat papam, mahat, great, papam, sinful act. Bata is how strange it is. Vyavasitaya. Vyavasita means decided. Aho, bata mahat papam, kartum vyavasita vayam, yadrajya sukhalobhena, hantum svajanam madhyata. How strange it is that we have decided to commit this sinful act, very, very sinful act, that we will kill our own people. Antum svajana. Antum svajana. We will kill our own people in the greed of kingdom and happiness. Yadraj sukhalobhena. How strange it is, Arjuna says. Aho batamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadraj sukhalobhena hantum svajana madhyataha. We go to Slok 46 now. Yadi imam pratikaram shastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhave. Arjuna says, Yadi, even if mama, me, apratikaram, without retaliation, without offering any resistance, ashastram, without having any weapons, shastra panayaha, pana means hand, pani means hand, panayaha, those having weapons in their hands, shastra panayaha, dhartarashtra, sons of Dhritarashtra, rane, in the battlefield, hanyu means to kill. So Arjuna says, it will be better for me. It will be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra with weapons in their hands will kill me unarmed. I will be unarmed. I will have no weapons with me, but it will be better that Kauravas, sons of Dhritarashtra, come with weapons in their hands and they kill me, it will be better for me. My goodness. A Kshatriya standing in the battlefield talking this kind of language. To lift his moral from such a low level and make him ready for the fight is a Herculean task, which Lord Krishna will definitely handle from the second Adhyaya onwards. So Arjuna says, without offering any resistance and retaliation on the battlefield, I will prefer to die at the hands of Kauravas, who will come with weapons in their hands, and I will have no weapons in my hand. That death will be better for me. Last shloka. Sanjayam vacha evamukta sakher evamukta Arjuna sankhe rathopastha upavishat visrujya sasharai chapam shokasam vignamanasaha. Sanjaya says to Dhritarashtra that after saying this, that I am not going to fight the war. What happens? Arjuna, having spoken this evam uktva, saying this, sankhe means the battlefield, upasthe, on the seat, upavishat is to sit down, uttishta, stand up, upavishat, sit down. So upavishat, he sat down. Visrujya is to keep away, putting aside. Sasharam, the bows and the arrows. Sasharam, bows and the arrows. Chapam is the bow. Shoka is deeply saddened state of mind is shoka. Manasa of the mind. So Arjuna Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra that Arjuna, having spoken like this on the battlefield, like what we have read in last 15-20 shlokas, what Arjuna is speaking of his vishad, his frustration, is reasoning out as to how it is a futile exercise, a bad, sinful act to enter into this war. Better we draw from it right now. After saying all this, he cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down in the chariot with a deeply saddened mind, distressed mind. So, Arjuna, having spoken on the battlefield, he is now given up. His bow he has taken out from his shoulder, kept it aside, and with a very saddened look on his face, with a very saddened mind, he sat down in the chariot. His legs were already trembling, so he sat down in the chariot. This is the end of first Adhyaya. Now this is, we say, Om Tat Sati Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamo Adhyaya. Now we say Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade. The question will come, Krishna did not speak a single word. So where is the samvad between Krishna and Arjuna? All other adhyayas, okay, Krishna is speaking, but here Krishna is totally silent. So how can we call this adhyaya Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvad? There is no samvad. Did Krishna speak a single word? Is there a single shloka coming from Lord Krishna? No. Then why we should call it Shri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade? See, the samvad is not only when both people are talking. When there is a listener and there is a talker, when the talker is being listened by somebody else, that also is samvad. If there is no listener, then there is no dialogue, then there is no samvad. But as long as there is a listener listening, everything that is being talked by the talker, by the speaker, then that is also samvad. And here, as we see, Lord Krishna is a mute spectator. He is carefully listening to all the frustrations of Arjuna, which he has spoken out so elaborately in this adhyaya, expressing his vishad, expressing his distress, expressing his sadness. So merely listening to Arjuna is also a samvad from Lord Krishna's side. So it is right to call this adhyaya also as Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Both are equally involved. Krishna in listening and Arjuna in speaking. So this is also a samvad. So this is the end of this first chapter. Thank you so very much for listening to me again today. And now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Feel free to raise your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you very much, Vikas Vaidya ji, for the wonderful presentation. Even you gave the meanings of many words with the interpretation, and even you gave, and after that the presentation included advices also to many ethical practices relevant to in the present day concept. I invite the sadhaks to, if you have any questions, you can hand raise. It is time for question and answer part of the session. And please do switch on the video. And in the order of hand raise, we will give you a chance.
Okay, Shyam Prasad ji.
Shyam Prasad ji.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, in this, I'm very happy to have the very elaborate explanation of this last part of this first Ajaya. I have doubts from some Ajayas. Especially in Krishna, that Arjuna is much worried about the consequences of the war.
Right.
Out of that worries, he is much worried about this Kulakshaya, Kula. That
Yes.
is, I want to know exact meaning of Kula. Kula means caste.
No, Kula means dynasty, the family.
Kula means family, not the caste.
Yeah, not caste.
Okay.
Not caste. Varna is caste, not Kula. Kula is family.
Okay.
Grandfather, father, son, grandson. This family tradition which comes on, that is the Kula.
Mhm. But what I understand, it is a caste, it is a column. That is the what caste you are. That is the what generally we call it a column.
Kula and caste are two different things. Kula has nothing to do with caste.
Mhm.
People
Okay.
of any caste can have the Kula. I mean, they have Kula. Every caste has the Kula, because everyone is belonging to some or the other family. So that family which is going on since long, it is a kul of that particular person. That is Kula.
That means Kula means what exactly? It is a family, some kind of family. This kind of
Yes, family which is going on for generations. Family which is coming on for generations. That is Kula.
That is what I try to understand. That means this Kula system is there at the time of that Mahabharata. Am I correct?
It is there now also, no? It is not there only in the Mahabharata. It is there now also.
Now
Your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, all this form a Kula of your good name is Mr. Vatturi, no? So
Yes,
this is
right.
Vatturi Kula. That is Vatturi Kula.
That is the my son.
family is Vaidya Kula. My family is Vaidya Kula. My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my son, my grandson, they all belong to Vaidya family. So that family is a Kula.
Okay. That is what I want to know. That is the Kula is not a caste. Yes, that now I am clear. And only at that time there are only 4 divisions he has chosen based on their guna and karma. That is the Kshatriya.
Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya, all based on guna and karma.
These
Not
are
based on janma.
These are the 4 divisions, not the caste.
No, they are based on guna and karma. What karmas you do.
Okay, and this Sankara means the generation which was born out of 2 kulas is the Shankara. That is what
Not
you are.
2 kulas, people belonging to 2 different varnas, people belonging to 2 different habits, say dress, as we discussed, either the dressing habits, eating habits, when they are contradictory, then that is a Sankara.
Not different caste. Not different.
Hindu girl, as we listen these days, love jihad and all that. So a Hindu girl marrying a Muslim boy and producing children for him, the children produced thus will be Sankara, will be hybrid children. They will neither be Hindu nor Muslim. They will be hybrid. So people of different caste, different varna, different religions coming together and producing children is Sankara. Sankara is hybrid.
Right. Okay, that is my doubt. Actually, I misunderstand as Kola is the caste. That is why I asked this question, because he has taken almost 38 to 44 swakas he has dedicatedly given for this Kola. That is Kola Kshaya, Kola Sankara, like that. So I thought it is a caste system. So I asked. You said it is not a caste, it is a family.
Yeah, see, all were Kshatriya. Kshatriya was their caste, for example. The Varna,
Yeah.
their Varna was Kshatriya. Whether it is
Yeah.
Kauravas or Pandavas, they were all Kshatriyas.
Mhm.
But Kula was Kuru Vamsha, right from Shantanu and then Dhritarashtra, Pandu.
Mhm.
All these they are belonging to Kuru Vamsha, Kuru Kshetra, Kuru Vamsha, that means Kuru dynasty. So that
Mhm.
Kula Arjuna is talking about.
Right. Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. It is clear.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Next,
Vijaya Didi, please unmute yourself. Vijaya Didi, please
Kumari.
unmute yourself.
Jai Shri Krishna, sir.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, regarding this Pitru dosha, as you said, Pitru dosha, you can hear me? Sir, regarding my this in children's horoscope, there was this Pitru dosha, and we have performed all that, whatever they told. We went to Gokarna, and we have done all that. But does it really work out? So far, nothing has turned regarding my children's marriage. We have done all that as per plan. But so far, no improvements. Does it really work out that Pitru dosha is there and we do pujas, everything goes off?
I'm not an expert in horoscope, so I would not be able to give you a right reply. But this is what people say, this is what I have read, that the families in which family traditions are not followed, the shraddhas are not performed, their pitars are unhappy in the heaven somewhere. That we have given birth to these people and they are not taking care of us. So this is what is believed. That is up to you. But this is all you can call andhavishwas or blind faith or factual, whatever. But the right way to consult about it will be some good pandit who knows about horoscope, who knows about this. I will not be the right person to reply whether this will really remove the obstacles in his marriage or not.
Yeah, that's correct. No, because we have done all the puja, whatever the pandit says, but no, but I don't believe in this Pitru dosha. We are doing pujas for elders also every year. But still they say Pitru dosha. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. I just wanted to give a suggestion that Shri Vaidya ji has said that when different varnas marriages takes place and whatever the offsprings are, they are hybrid. To my mind, it is not the hybrid, it is a crossbreed really. But if father is from higher varna and mother is from lower varna, that probably may be worded as hybrid. But otherwise, it is only a crossbreed. So crossbreed is more appropriate to my mind. So that is what I wanted to submit to you.
Hybrid is only people of different background coming together. So whether it is high level or low level is a matter of detailing.
Yes.
But again, I would say that these are not the thoughts of Bhagavad-Gītā. These are the frustrations of Arjuna, what he is speaking. This is not something Lord Krishna is speaking or preaching to us.
Yes.
These are the thoughts of Arjuna, not of Bhagavad-Gītā or not of Krishna. So let us not say that Bhagavad-Gītā is teaching us these things.
No,
Bhagavad-Gītā is not teaching us these things.
It is actually misgiving. Even all this casteism is a misgiving. There are no castes dictated by anyone in the universe. It is only because the fathers or the parents are very selfish. So even if their son is born with a very low IQ, still if they are from Brahmin family, they want that, how can my son be a Shudra? That is what is the problem.
It's all very idiotic thinking, I would say. But depending upon the caste.
That is how world works.
The compatibility is more important than anything else these days.
True. Yeah, that is it. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Manjari.
Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah, Bhaiya, like you told us that, the rituals after death have to be followed. Otherwise, the person who's dead will not attain Sadgati. But what we learned in Bhagavad Gita, that our karmas are supreme. So
Yes.
if we are doing our karmas, and even if children don't perform all these shraddhas or whatever those rituals till 13th day, should we bother about that? I should bother about my karmas. My karmas will take me to hell or heaven.
Yeah. See, that's what I said. Probably, maybe you might have missed that point. What I said was, this is what Arjuna is saying. But Bhagavad Gita is teaching us something different, and we should learn what Gita is telling us, that we are not the body, we are the soul, and the soul never dies, isn't it? This is what we learn from Bhagavad Gita. So when the soul is eternal, when the soul is permanent, body becomes dead, whether should we follow all these rituals? And this is what I said, this is the food for thought for everyone. This depends on individual beliefs. Some people believe in it, some people don't believe in it. Both sides have strong justification to give. So it depends on the individual beliefs. But according to Gita, we are soul, not body. If we go by that definition, that soul and not body, and soul never dies, then what we are worried about? Why are we doing all this rituals? The soul has already occupied another good body. The soul may be really happy acquiring another fresh body. He may be living in happiness. So were we to keep expressing our grief, sadness for that soul, the soul may be really happy. And you are very right that it is our karmas which decide what kind of janma we are going to take. The soul that takes the next life depends on our karmas. What kind of karmas we have committed in this life, that will decide we write our own destiny for the next life, paraloka.
I just want to tell you, sir, I'm very happy that you are teaching Gita not only from what it was written long time back, but from today's perspective, what you talked about intercaste marriages and all, which are so relevant. And this is a very good explanation you gave. And I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you. Thank you. See, this is the beauty of Sanatan Hindu Dharma, that we change with the time.
Yes. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Any other questions?
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna ji.
I'm still not clear of Kula. That I have so far known that we are the ancestors of a Rishi, like our Gotra. Gotra is Sandilya. So Sandilya was a Rishi, and on that tradition, we are the ancestors of that Rishi.
Rishi.
So that is the exactly meaning of the Kula.
Gotra, there are many families having the same Gotra. But
maybe,
that does not mean they belong to the same Kula.
Maybe caste is different. Caste may be some Brahmin, some Kshatriya, some Sudra, maybe the same Rishi's product or same ancestors of the Rishi. So that is called Kula, I think, whether you agree or not.
No, that is not. See, what you are talking about Gotra. Gotra is different than Kula. People belonging to different Kula can have the same Gotra.
Yeah,
but
I
that
know
does
that.
not necessarily mean that they follow the same Kula Dharma.
That I know.
Kula Dharma are the traditions which are taught to us by our forefathers, which we follow. That is Kula Dharma.
Okay.
Okay.
So forefather is that forefather's tradition is
that family tree. That family tree what comes down up to our generation and to our next generation. That is the Kula.
Okay.
Okay. And Gotra is something which is the people of different Kulas may have the same Gotra. Like Shandilya or whatever Gotra you said. That Gotra started from the Rishi Munis, which were initially at the beginning of Shri. Whatever were the Rishis, they passed on their Gotras, and then different Gotras get transformed. But
Maybe
Kulas are something different than Gotras.
they are the full gurus of our tradition or what?
You can say that those Rishis, suppose we are belonging to some particular Gotra. That Rishi is our original Purush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Padmaji.
How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Good, sir. Sir, I have a small doubt.
Yes, please.
The soul is, they say, there is no death or janma for the soul, right? So when we die, then how people say that you go to Naraka, and even there is no pain or sorrow, anything to the soul, then how will you experience the pain, or whatever they say in the Naraka, you're going to suffer. So how is this? I don't understand, sir.
See, basically, the Jivatma, he sustains all this pain because he has assumed that he is the body. And his relationship body, he has made it so permanent that even after leaving the body, he carries those body sanskars with him. Whatever have been done by his body as a karmas through that body in which he was living in this life, whether they are good karmas or bad karmas, he carries those with him. And those karmas, then they result in either getting a good fruit or a bad fruit for him. And those karmas decide what kind of next life he is going to have. Because every karma is to be paid. Every karma is to be paid. That we learn from Geeta, Karma Yoga. And that is the reason that this Jivatma, though he leaves the body, but the karmas don't leave him. The karmas, they carry on with him even in his next life. If he has done good karmas, he will get good life. When we read 3rd Adhyay, 6th Adhyay, we know all this. As to how the life gets passed on to next life, depending upon karmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
One more question.
Jai Shri Krishna, sir.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I just want to give my experience about the Kula. My Dadi used to say that Kula means 7 generations. Means
that's
Kuru dynasty. Kuru dynasty was named after the Raja Kuru. Then Bharat. Then all these descending kings were. Then the 7th generation ends. Then Kul changes. Is it right?
That way they say cousins. When there are 4, 5 cousins, then the family doesn't have any relationship. That is also they say. But it's not right to say, because then we are forgetting our forefathers. After 7th generation, that does not mean that our...
No, it's a Raja. Means the king who is on the throne.
Yeah.
Kuru was the king of that time. Then Bharat came, then Shantanu, then Dhritarashtra, then Pandavas, then Parikshit. Yudhishthir, then Parikshit came. So it is the generation who follow the dynasty.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's what. But the question was about Kula. So they were all belonging to the same Kula, right? From Shantanu to Dhritarashtra to Yudhishthira, they are belonging to the same Kula. What the argument was going on about what is Kula? Whether Kula is caste. So Kula is not caste. Because there are other Kshatriyas also. So,
no, caste not. It is not caste.
That is not caste. What you say is right. Yeah. So what you say is right. They are belonging to the same Kula. All these people.
And sir, I asked one doubt in last session also from Ashuji, but I couldn't clear my doubt in that. This war was between 2 families, Dhritarashtra and Pandavas. So my Dadi used to say there is a Gyan and Gyan. When it's Gyan, you remove then it is came. Then both sides become the same. And also armies were 11:7. If you recall the first chapter, it is said that 11 Akshwani Sena of Kauravas and 7 of Pandavas. And then ratio is 11:7. So my daddy used to say that the war was because the balance was not equal. To balance the ratio, this war was taken. Was there?
Okay,
So,
if you say by number, then what you say is 7 against 11. 11 is bigger than 7. Okay, we know that. But
yeah. Though
7 plus, no, just listen. 7 Akshawani
7 plus
Sena,
11, 18.
but on their side, Bhagwan Sri Krishna was there. So one Bhagwan Sri Krishna is equivalent to how many Akshawani Sena you can imagine. So that 18
But he
Akshawani
was
Sena.
not in armies, no?
He was not in army, but he was the main advisor of Pandavas. Who killed Duryodhana? Bhima. Who advised him to hit him on the thigh? Krishna. Who killed Karna? Arjuna. Who advised Arjuna
Who advised
to shoot
Krishna?
an arrow at Karna when his wheel was there in the battlefield? Krishna. So Krishna was the main advisor of Pandavas. And it is because of Krishna's diplomacy that Pandavas could win the war. If Krishna was not on their side, the result could have gone anyway. But Krishna's being there on this side changed the war totally.
Sir, I want to clear my doubt that she used to say that Kauravas had extra facilities than Pandavas. Pandavas were deficit, and Kauravas were in excess. So the war took place. Means they had of extra. Bhishma, Karna, they both energies are no. It's the energy of sun who was on that side.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad-Gītā says that this
Gyan
is spoken first.
Puja, your voice is continuously breaking. Very difficult to catch.
So voice is not.
Maybe network problem, sir.
So
just I want to clear that is it right that 11:7 is there, so the war took place.
No, that was not the reason. See, the 7 and 11 was that ratio came into existence after the war was already declared. That yes, we are going to have the war because war is the only way we can resolve this dispute of kingdom. So that 7 against 11 came into existence much later. Okay, that was
but
not
there is faith, no?
Was Duryodhana refused to part away with any piece of land to Pandavas. He had promised that you come back after your exile of 12 years and 1 year in that place of incognito. Then when you come back, half of the kingdom I will give it to you. But then he changed his words and he says, half of the kingdom, forget about that. I want part of even the land which will be covered by the point of a needle. And that's the reason. And Pandavas were even prepared to forgive that Draupadi, their wife, was disrobed publicly. Several attempts were made by Kauravas, particularly Duryodhana, to kill them when they were in exile. All that they were prepared to forget and forgive. But Duryodhana was not prepared to give any piece of land, and that was the reason. Even Shri Krishna went to both the sides to Duryodhana to mediate between both the parties, but even his mediation failed. Duryodhana did not listen to him also. And coming to this Kauravas mentality and Pandavas mentality, I think we spoke it sometime in earlier sessions that Bhagavad-Gītā, which was heard by Dhritarashtra, because Sanjay was narrating everything to him. Same Gita was heard by Arjuna. Arjuna totally changed. He acquired huge amount of knowledge because of Bhagavad-Gītā. Same thing heard by Dhritarashtra also. He remained he remained totally unchanged. He could have changed his mind and he could have stopped the war. He was the only person who could have stopped the war. But he did not. He did not. So there are people who believe in this. There are people who still don't want to change. It is their fate. Ultimately, what happened? All Kauravas got killed.
But Dhritarashtra was alive, no? Here, Dhritarashtra was there and their Pandavas were alive. Agyan and Gyan.
Yeah, that's right. That is the way of explaining Gyan and Agyan. Dhritarashtra was blind, not physically, but mentally also. That is what we say.
Mentally was, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Mentally also, he was not prepared to think. Though he was mentally also, he was blind.
You say, sir, very exactly, clearly everything. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Sir, one more question, sir. Very small question. This is Shyam.
Please.
Sir, actually in this 40 second sloka, he referred about the Pindodaya Kriya ante. That means when person dies, sons and their family members will do some karma kanda vagera, Shraddha karma vagera. Regarding that, just now you told, because we are not this body, we are the soul, then what is the meaning of doing this Shraddha karma for this dead body? There I want to some clarification, sir. I got confused there. Because Arjuna already he has said there itself, there must be some Shraddha karma, but now just you are given that for a dead body, because we are not the soul will be already taken into some other birth. This is only mere dead body without any consciousness or chaitanya. So what is the meaning of doing this Shraddha karmas? How it will his elevation to that higher levels?
No, by saying that the person who has passed away, he was a body, is showing some kind of disbelief in Geeta. Because the Geeta is teaching us that the person who has passed away was not that body on which we are performing all these last rites.
Yes.
It was the soul. And the soul never dies.
Yes.
So the soul which is never dying, for that soul, why we are expressing our grief and sadness and all that? That soul is acquiring something else. He has gone to another sphere.
Yes.
Maybe because of good karmas, he has already gone to some higher level of Brahmalok also, we don't know. So
no.
This is a way of thinking of it. Whether to follow and to stop Shraddha karma. I am not saying that you should stop Shraddha karma, because the other people say that if you stop Shraddha karma, then the next generation will have to face the consequences by way of Pitrudosha. There is a school of thought that also. So no one is very competent enough to take a final decision on this. So the safest way people want to go is, let us follow the rituals. What we lose in doing one Shraddha karma, we don't lose anything, no? We'll give some money to Pandit and perform the Shraddha. That is okay. So this is the safest way people want to go with. Nothing wrong in that also, because ultimately we want peace of mind. Whether the departed soul gets peace because of our karma kanda is something which we don't know. But we get a peace of mind when we perform some kind of puja at home for the departed soul. At least we remember him. Remember the things that he has done for us. We shed some tears for the departed soul. And that is in human nature, that we should express our gratitude for the departed soul. So nothing wrong in performing that puja also at home.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
One thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
Whether Krishna and Arjuna was a relative or what?
Relative means they were brother-in-law, no? Brother-in-law.
Because Krishna was Yadav Kula and Arjuna was Kshatriya Kula.
Yeah, but Subhadra was Arjuna's wife, no? Subhadra was Arjuna's wife.
So how Arjuna and the relative?
They were brother-in-law, no? Krishna and Arjuna, they were brother-in-law, they were guru and disciple, they were friends, they had many relations.
Oh, friendly relation only.
Yeah, they had many relations.
No blood relation anyway from
No,
maternal.
not blood relations. No, not blood relations. No blood relations.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, anything else?
No more questions, I think. And thank you very much, Vikas Vaidya, for the wonderful answers. And they were all satisfied, I think. And I thank my heartfelt feelings to the technical team consists of technical assistants, Anjali, Joshi, Sudekha, Mittalji. And now we will move on to, it is a time for Samapana Prarthana. We have with us Manisha Haltangarji from Pune. She is a homemaker who has interest in listening music. She is a science graduate, associates Geeta Parivar since December 2020, and is a L4 trainer now. And after this Samapan Pradhana, we have to listen the Hanuman Chalisa. Please give the session only after that Hanuman Chalisa. Also, I request everyone to, every one of you to download the Ram Pradishta app and be the part of a daily Hanuman Chalisa chanting. Now we are
आप भी एक प्रेयर कीजिए, दीदी नहीं आई है.
We'll go for the Samapan Prarthana. Yogesham Sachidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूरति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you all.
जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Krishna. We are ending this session.
सुरेखा दीदी ट्राई कर रही है, लेकिन मीटिंग एंड नहीं हो रही है।